You are live. Oh, I better. And we are live. Welcome to Real Migos number, what is this, 31, 32, something like that?
75, who knows?
Yeah, I put like 10,000 something on one the other day just as a joke. But we are back. We are live, everyone. Welcome to Real Migos. We have a fun show tonight. We have, as always, the cat-eared mullet. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jerome.
Yeah, man. ianofAustin, the benevolent beret. Welcome back.
Thanks, Jerry.
Jerry? Okay.
He called you Jerome. Where did that come from? I had to come up with another J name real quick.
Yeah. Jeremiah would have been better.
But that's too close.
Yeah.
So I've had a pretty interesting week already. It's Tuesday. Pretty interesting week in real estate. Offers coming in on listings like crazy. I had two clients. In fact, myself, I had two clients. We wrote cash offers over the weekend. Over list price, got beat out on both, which I was like, wait, what's happening again? And then I went to go put an offer on a property as an investment, and they already took an offer, which was crazy to me. So what's it look like for you right now?
For me, I have some listings that are in process right now. Not seeing as much activity on that as I'd really like to be honest with you. But, you know, a lot of my buyer clients are still like really active, but not like going out and putting offers on stuff. I detect a bit of hesitation for a lot of my folks. Maybe not market wise, but just generally not as motivated as they were previously, you know, earlier in the summer when there's more excitement or activity around it. But I don't know. I'm constantly keeping my ear to the ground on, you know, where buyers are in their sentiment. Like, are they waiting a lot longer? Do they think they're going to wait till it drops further? Is it going to drop further? I don't know. That's I'm pretty interested to see how it's going to play out.
Well, yeah, I put out my video that I put out today was talking about the information that came out, I think Thursday or Friday of last week, showing, I mean, if you look at the actual close data for August, you know, it looks like it's up year over year. And the challenge is, though, it's not really up year over year. Well, it's up year over year, but month over month, it wasn't up. It was down like 6%, 6.8%. So I have a feeling all of our fun people are going to start saying, oh, see, the market's crashing. But, you know, as I said in that video, so pause this and go watch that video because there's a lot of great content in there. There's a lot of reasons for that. But Ian, what's up with you, man? How's your week looking?
Pretty incredible. I've got a few that I'm working on, a few new contracts that I'm working on, and then a few listing opportunities that I'm pursuing. So I'm having a great week. What I think I've seen is that more people who were in the market back in March and April, and they were just like, oh, I'm done for a minute, are starting to kind of come back and say, okay, we really need to make this happen because we don't know what's going to happen. So I've seen a lot of people reach back out that I had lost contact with or had ghosted me.
I'm happy to see some consolidation, to be honest with you. Like, obviously, you know,
you can make it happen.
I mean, it's just like the downside is when any asset is climbing or any asset class is climbing, and then you get to this crazy peak, which is essentially, I guess, obviously where we got to from a demand standpoint, like in July or August, I would say. The moment that it starts to tip down a little bit, and it has a little bit, then I think a lot of people do hesitate. They're like, okay, do I wait now? Like, do I wait till it goes down a little bit further? Is everyone waiting? They're just trying to get a sense of each other. Like, are we doing this or are we not doing this? So I think we're going to see a little bit of undulation, prices going up, people coming back in, a little bit scared. Should I do this right now? Until we get to a kind of a leveling for a while in a normal market, which I welcome at this point.
When you say normal, what does that mean to you? Normal here.
I mean, normal is stressful. So like still multiple offers probably on good properties, all the good stuff, all the properties that are appropriately priced and are good quality are probably going to get multiple offers still. But I mean, you know what it was like in April, May, June, like week by week, at least we were just trying to figure out what it was going to take to be getting these houses. Like, oh yeah, because what you did the previous week wasn't going to be enough to get it to the next week. Right. So, I don't want that anymore. I don't want to have to feel like I have to advise my clients, you need to put down $20,000, in option money or something like that. Cause did that. And I'm just hoping that we don't have to do that anymore. We can go back to some standard practices.
Man, I was looking at this property in Lakeway that closed less than 10 days ago. Sorry, not Lakeway, Lago. It was listed at about $975 and ended up going for 1.25.
Oh, that's nice.
And that just happened. So, and like, it just goes to your point. It had, sweeping views and everything. It was just a good property that a lot of people were going to want no matter what.
Yeah. It's what we talked about this already too. And honestly, this is what we're doing on the listings that I have right now that I think as is, they would have gone regardless a couple of months ago. But now we are having to come back and reevaluate and say, okay, what do we need to do from a marketing standpoint to really make this stand out against the crowd? And now it is going back into recommending to folks like, you need to be offering what the market's looking for, neutral paint colors, probably some updates, not all updates, but definitely a minimal look, very clean, a blank canvas for themselves, great pictures. That's what people want right now.
You know what I've seen a lot of lately in listings where people will go through and they'll change all the things that are small and nothing that's like even medium, right? Yeah. So they'll leave floors in the kitchen as the older tile, and they might just replace, the living room floors or the countertops. I don't know how many people won't touch there are a lot of people out there that just won't touch the countertops knowing that they need new countertops.
Bro,
it's like, what happened? How are you trying to sell this? Anyway.
No, we just did that actually. I'm just as guilty because again, under the crunch of time and trying to get these listings ready, not everybody, and this is planning out that far in the future to say, okay, I want to list in 60 days. They're like, I want to list right now. What do I need to do right now? It's like, okay, this is what we need to do. I have great clients that were willing to do that. And we went through and repainted all the inside of the house, a nice neutral white, installed just this morning, actually on one of these listings, installed Calcutta quartz countertops, replacing a laminate countertop. Yeah. And now we're going to go ahead and put the backsplash in because all that was done and then retake pictures. So I honestly think we'll go from minimal number of showings to potentially one of these houses that's going to be, top of people's show list for the weekend that we relist it.
Absolutely. If everything else in the house is nice and all you had to change were the countertops, that I feel like something that small in the grand scheme of things will still increase your traffic and your excitement about the countertops because how many people want to move in and then still have to feel like they need to do things?
I mean, sometimes maybe if the price point's there, but like the rule of thumb I've always used with folks is whatever cost it is to put in the improvements. Like let's say that a new countertop and backsplash, because I know they're just doing this is like around $8,000 to $10,000 just to do that for something very nice. Yeah. But just assume that a buyer coming in there is going to say, I'm going to multiply that by 3. So it needs $10,000 worth of work. I want to offer you $30,000 less because I know I'm going to have to do it and then there's some unknown. Plus, I really don't want to do it. So there's the pain factor of me having to do it myself. I'm going to offer you $30,000 less. Some people would say, it depends, how much the repairs were. But some people would say, okay, that's fine. I still don't want to do the work. I just want to get this thing sold and move forward. But I believe right now in our market, everything that you do is going to have at least a 1-to-1 return. So you put the money,
even pools
are probably going to have a 1-to-1
right
return.
Yeah. So, I agree with you, the pool thing, because I normally tell clients when they have a pool, like, I ask them, well, how much did they put in their pool? That's usually like 60 to 100 grand. I'm like, okay, we're not going to get that much back out of it. Now, I think you like 1.2x, right? Like, give you an example, like a pool that costs 80 grand, you're probably going to get $100,000 more on that house than you would have versus not having that pool. And, you also have to be strategic too when you list a house at the pool. If you're going to list a house at the pool in dead of summer or dead of winter, you're not optimizing that.
But I think there's a lagging effect with it, right? There were a lot of people that have been stuck in the house for so long. Like you said, the patios, the outdoor kitchens, the pools are all such a commodity that people want right now. And I mean, that I think that's why you're getting that 1.2x return. I saw a house in Pflugerville that was listed. The house was horrible. It was like, horrible for the price. Sorry, it wasn't a horrible house, but the house, it should have been a $400,000 house. It was listed at $5 because it had a pool. Pool wasn't that nice. Yeah. But just because it had a pool, and ended up selling. I don't think it closed at the list price, but it was close. And that pool was probably like a $40,000 pool. It wasn't all that nice.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting that you said it though too, because I had the conversation with. It's so weird to me because years ago I was referred this guy who's looking for land out in Dripping Springs, and we touched base over the last couple of years. And he's like, "Hey, how's the market doing? I'm going to go buy somewhere else." Anyways, I was looking for an architect, and this guy came up on the list where he was referred to me, and then he called me, and his number was in my phone. I was like, "What is going on here?" Anyways, we had a long conversation because he does some larger projects right now, and he even mentioned that the design that we're doing right now is a general design as a real estate development community across the country right now. The buyers' wants and needs are changing quite a bit. So architects are keeping that in mind. So the new stuff that they're developing, the new condo buildings that they're doing, and the new large scale stuff that they're working on is not going to be the same type of floor plans and amenities and things that we've seen for the last few years. And I think that's becoming obvious now because of how you can look at a listing and be like, okay, obviously what that offers, that's going to be a broad appeal to people. And it might be boring for some, but that's really what people are looking for. Right now.
Do you think people in 3 years from now, when they go to sell their 2020, 2021 home, people are going to go, oh, this must have been a 2021 home?
Yes.
Because all these builders are pre-speccing out these homes. They're not, they look okay, but they're not as custom as what some people would typically put in their house, Look, you have the standard DR Hortons and some of the lower dollar milestones like the 400 below, because Milestone has their M signature, but even then their M signature, they're picking out everything, and that lower stuff under 4, they're also doing the same thing and picking out all the finishes. So you're going to have all these 2020 homes that have the 2 millimeter instead of the 3 millimeter countertops. The cheap just tile backsplash. I can tell if I walk into a home, I'm like, oh, this is a 2005 home because of those big ass tiles as the backsplash and nothing nice,
Bro, same thing with 2016, 2017 home. I'll quiz you. What do you think a 2016 to 2017 home has in it? If you were to
probably
say
beiges.
Oh no, those were late 90s,
brown
2000s.
Cabinets.
This is good. This can be a tough one. What do you think?
You say white? Are you going to say white cabinets and white subway tile?
No, that's still popular, and I think we'll be.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's still doing.
I was gonna say shiplap and barn doors.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, yeah. I love those.
That was peak. That was peak Chip and Joanna, right? Everybody's like, "I need a feature wall. I need a feature wall," and it ends up being fake shiplap.
That goes back to the lagging decisions that people make, right? So people that were watching that show as they're shopping now, if they see a home that has that, it's like, oh. I know that. I remember I watched that episode or something like that.
I'm not saying it's not still relevant, because it is, but I also believe that mid-century modern is having another moment in our design stuff that we're seeing. Because think about it, a lot of people in Austin that I've noticed would rather buy an infill home that's like 1960s, 70s renovated mid-century modern style than to be a little bit further out and have a larger bit of space, and then you're constrained into the suburban, home style.
Oh, yeah, the frameless glass shower. Yeah, that's a big
2020. Yeah. Instead of a bathtub, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Hey, what I want to know is
that out a lot of plans.
I want to go back in time and understand at what point somebody thought that all of the brass fixtures and trim and everything in these houses was actually a good idea. I mean, I know you guys feel this way. You walk into some of these houses built in the 80s, 90s.
Here's the craziest part. Here's the craziest part about, well, I guess maybe not now, but here's the craziest part about that. So we sold our last house, which was the biggest mistake, selling that house. I should have kept it. I've said this is my biggest. The one thing that I've done wrong in real estate was sell my last house because I just wanted the equity out of it. I should have kept it as rental, but we went through and we changed out all those brass, like door handles, all the hinges, all that stuff. It took me 4 or 5 hours to do it. It cost a total of like $350. All the door handles we ordered from this company on China. That's why I say maybe not now, because you're probably not going to get as cheap on China. But I'm telling you, it changed the entire aesthetic of that house in a 4-hour time frame for like less than $400.
Yeah, you want to go through and go ahead, Ian.
I was going to say, when you start counting doorknobs and you see how much that actually costs, you're like, I did not know I had 50 doorknobs in this house. It's not even that. It's just crazy. But it does. It makes such a big difference, that little attention to detail. And it's one of those things where people walk into a house, they don't know what it is about a house. I love that phrase. I don't know what it is about this house. It just feels like my house. Yeah. Well, it's because they changed the doorknobs and they changed all the fixtures and all the little things and painted the vents and that kind of stuff. You're like, oh.
Yeah, it does make a difference. And that's why, this year was interesting because the momentum moving towards sellers is that, honestly, if you're selling your house, you pretty much didn't have to do anything, right? You just go ahead and put it on the market.
And I'm happy it's changing a little bit. I
am too. I mean, I want to see it. I want people to be able to go through their houses. Like, I want to walk into a listing appointment again and be like, and tell them, like, you could spend $2,000 on this house and it would look like a completely different place. And most people are like, well, that looks boring. I'm like, well, that doesn't, it really doesn't matter. Because that's what buyers are looking for right now. Is generally they're looking for kind of, cleaner lines, whites. Yeah. Kind of boring.
Let's take a quick pause. So apparently there's an issue with how the show went out today. Didn't really notify people, and the comments are lagging a little behind. So apologize. I don't know what really happened there. But everybody, thank you for jumping on. Brad, what's up, man? Love that guy. Met him a few weeks ago. I'm going to get this right. Leander. I think I got it. Usually YouTube sends a notification. Didn't get it. Sorry about that. Before the show, I actually brought this up to Kevin, asking about if he had heard about the Evergrande. I've spent probably 2 hours today actually going through and looking at all this stuff. Here's where I think this will impact the housing market. This is a great question, by the way. So this is where it's going to impact the housing market. And if you've ever listened to the Uneducated Economist, he said this last week, and sure as shite, it happened Friday. Interest rates went crazy up because what's happening, a lot of people are bailing out of the bond markets from China, and they're buying our bond markets here. So interest rates on Friday shot up. I even talked about this on the video I released today, about the Friday interest rates going up, how that kind of impacts a little bit. So I don't think property taxes are going to be going down in Austin ISD anytime soon. But the tax rates, so let's say you start at a 3% tax rate, that will come down to whatever the average is after a while. Viviana, welcome back. We missed you. Santa Rita Ranch is going to be selling in February. Great time. I think March, February is going to be a great time. A lot of people think it's going to crash by then. I have a feeling it will not. What are your thoughts on that too?
I was going to say, I have this question. February, March, I think it depends on timing around spring break. I think that historically would have been a conversation, right? If kids are in or out of school and parents, because what happens is that's when the market historically would start to flood as people are getting rid of that, at least for a little blip, and then again when kids are getting out of school.
Yep. I think it's usually towards the end of March or it's the middle of March, because that's when they have South by Southwest.
Yep.
So I usually like to list at the late February and then late March. There's 2 times I tell clients to sell, just to get out of those time frames. A telltale sign of 2020. Yeah, we said that one. Sorry. Here's a good one. In an ideal situation, what is your home? What year home would you seriously consider purchasing? That is a great question. What do you guys think?
I want to hear Kevin. I want to hear what you say on this one.
Well, I mean, I like day zero assets, like because of mechanicals. So like, I'd like to get a home as new as possible. If it's relatively the same price in the same neighborhoods, I'd like to get the newest home I possibly can get. Now, the key part is like at 15 years, a home that's 15 years old likely has not had many or any of its major mechanical systems replaced at that point. So that's actually a weird time to buy, because you're likely getting in the first round of having to replace HVAC systems, water heaters, stuff of that nature. I
try to avoid that 2005 to 2010 unless earlier, unless it's been replaced.
Yeah. And the 70s were just a shitty time for building houses. Like as weird as building codes were and as expensive as materials were, builders were building super, super cheap. The economy was terrible. Gas prices were ridiculous. So the 70s are something I would be very cautious of, but that's my personal opinion on it.
So I think it depends on where we're talking about, right? That's a big factor in that. What I noticed is in the late 70s and up to mid 80s in the Austin area, it's like all the lots were huge. All the like they just the floor plans, the houses themselves were large, laid out pretty well in most cases. Might have a ceiling height problem, but it doesn't bother me so much. As long as I can remove some popcorn ceiling, that's fine. They were normally close to the city or really just really nice homes that can be remodeled and just incredible once they're done. So I like that. But I'm with you, Kevin. If I could just have a nice aluminum roof, full solar panels, and the power wall, tankless heaters.
I'm not as bullish as most people on. I'm not as bullish as most people on the solar panels.
Power wall. I don't care about the solar panel.
Right. Well, what is the power wall going to be fed by? You're going to just plug the power wall into.
No, I know, but one doesn't work well without the other. I don't feel like it's relevant without.
My only thing about getting I have clients constantly ask me, should I get a solar roof? Should I get a solar roof? And I always tell them this: you have to really, really look at the numbers, and then on top of that, you got to make sure you're going to stay in that house a while. Because those numbers don't make sense. If you're just going to buy it, just sell it a couple of years later, it doesn't make sense. I mean, it makes it feel good, right? They get the feels because I'm using the sun to power my house. And I get everybody says it to me now. Oh, well, what about Snowmageddon? Snowmageddon happened and I had power. Look, I had power in my house the whole time during Snowmageddon. So
there's so many variables out there. If you're out in the middle of Liberty Hill, really far in the middle of Liberty Hill, sometimes you might have issues with power cycling frequently, right? So it prevents that sort of thing from happening. But also you have to know, how old is your roof? If you're going to get a solar panel installed on a roof that has not been recently replaced, let's say something happened to your roof, are they going to come and remove the solar panel to repair the roof and put it back? Someone's got to pay for that. And if that's not in your they're just
going to slide a plastic sheet underneath it and then tape it down with duct tape. That'll fix the problem.
And you wouldn't even know.
I would spend $50,000 on a badass kitchen and master bath before I'd spend $50,000 on solar panels.
Right. That's what people want. And that's my whole point with it.
100%.
People would rather see the upgrades. All right, I'm just going to cut you off, Ian. You lost this battle. As far as where to purchase, I looked at a 2015 home over the weekend. I went to write an offer on it. I'm not going to tell you where. I know our whole topic is about where to buy and invest. I don't want anybody else to know about this neighborhood because I am looking to pick something up. Once I pick something up, I will tell you about this neighborhood because I ran the numbers. So here's, everybody has their different investment strategies. My investment strategy is to buy ideally 400 and under and rent for 28 plus. And I found the perfect neighborhood for that. And I was like, wait, this neighborhood, how did I miss this neighborhood? And so I went in to write an offer. They took an offer before we can write an offer. So there's other stuff that's hit the market. I'm kind of keeping an eye on it, but I found the perfect neighborhood to invest in. And you would, if I told you about this neighborhood, you'd be like, what, where is that? I'd be like, yeah, $2,800 a month on a 1,800 square foot house rental. It's insane.
Wow,
anyway,
that's good numbers.
Here we go. I'm behind, of course. Would it be best to sell a Central East Austin home now or wait for school ratings to get better? Seems like younger families are moving towards that area. 100% agree that people are moving that way.
The answer is always, my answer is, if somebody says I need to sell, I'm like, do you need the cash?
Yeah.
Right. Are you going to take that cash and go do something else with it? I mean, do you need to sell that house? The best time for you to sell the house is when you know what the conditions are today. If you hold on to the asset and wait till the spring, there's no guarantee that that's going to be a stronger market. We think it's going to be. We don't know what that's going to be specifically. I
mean, speaking of, there's a great one listed on the market for $1,025,000. So, there's great opportunity on the east side. So
look at his tabs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I made sure to take down. It's I got some good ones on there tonight for us. So, because I thought we were going to be talking about where to buy and invest. So if you have questions about where to buy and invest, start dropping those in. We'll start answering questions. But one thing before we get too far down the rabbit holes of all that, so there's a local, I won't want to say economist, but David Tandy's the president and our CEO of Texas National Title. And every single year he puts together, he dives through all the data and he looks at, the market trends, things like that. And he puts together these really, really great market updates. See if I have it. Here we go. So he puts together these, and I really follow him because he really focuses just on Texas and just on Austin. So I need your help in the chats. Please write yes. Bring David on. I have tried like mad to bring David Tandy on, to bring him on the channel. So if you want to hear from somebody who looks at this data every single year, does an update 2 or 3 times a year, if you want to see him on this channel, please write in the comments, bring David Tandy on, or just bring David on. I'm trying to convince him that it's worth his time to come on here because he likes to sit in front of 30 agents and talk about this. I'm like, look, we have 75 people watching right now who would love to hear about the market, hear about housing updates and all that fun stuff. So drop a comment below if you want me to bring an economist. Well, he's not an economist. He's the CEO of Texas National Title, but he loves himself some data and loves economic updates. Please write in the comments and bring David on. I'm going to show him this and we're going to get his booty in the chair. So there we go. Okay. Moving on. Pflugerville. What are your thoughts on Pflugerville? When is a good time to sell your house? Our house. That's a good question.
I've obviously.
What's your goal is number one, I would ask.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, right now is not the best time to list, if I'm just being honest. If you have a reason to sell, yes, right now is a good time. I wouldn't say it's the best, most optimal time because it's a slower time of the season. I'm a big proponent in listing the first couple weeks in November. That's me personally. What are your thoughts?
Well, because they get to close before the holiday season, right? And so I'm looking at homes in Blackhawk right now. They have houses closing for $800,000 in Blackhawk.
Yeah.
Which you that's just what?
I know.
It's just incredible. Yeah. And that's still closing for that price.
I'm happy to hear that. As much high priced Pflugerville data as I can get, I'm very ecstatic about. For many
So
reasons.
I think it depends on where you are and
Um,
bring David on.
I mean, I'm not going to beat around the bush and just like, I'm not going to say the same thing a realtor would always say. You should sell your house today, right? It's always a good time to sell your house. But if you want to know the truth of the matter, like if the prime time to put your house in the market is the spring. I'm not going to lie. If you look at the cyclical nature of real estate, there's more buyers, in the market in the spring. The problem is that there's also more listings in the spring as well. Yeah. So, you have more competition. If you're going to wait till the spring to list, or even if you're going to list right now, take your time, do the improvements that we're talking about, right? Swap out the doorknobs if they suck, paint the house. If you look at it and you think that it's not what a buyer would be interested in, consider changing it right now before you put it on the market.
Well, and that you bring up a really good point there. If you are selling a house, you're probably shopping too, right? To buy something. And so think about that. When you're looking at something, you're like, wow, why are you getting rid of this to buy that? There are reasons, and a lot of it's features or layout, right? So if you can change any of those to match where you want to go to, I'm not saying you don't move. I'm saying you try to, beef it up a little bit to appeal to buyers, because buyers are thinking like you are, because you're a buyer at the same time.
I don't know that if I'm talking this out, I don't know that it would make a big difference in the price. Like if you were to list today and the house is in the exact same condition and you listed it in the spring, I don't know that the price would be significantly different, but it would probably sell faster in the spring.
Well,
right?
We've seen this year, and I in my videos, my standalone videos I put out, if we actually look at us every single year, the highest closed prices are June, right? Mm-hmm. So June, and then July tapers down, August flattens out. So, but if just because they're closing in June doesn't mean they're listing in June. So really what that tells you is the best time to list, like the most optimal month to list, is May.
Yeah. Well, and that makes so much sense. It goes back to the school thing, right? When parents know, they get the kids don't have to be at school early in the morning. They've got work, and then they've got cleaning and prepping to sell, right? They don't have to worry about that. And so
I did this for you guys. I did this for Dinosaur D, and he's not even here.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I'm disappointed because now he has to change his avatar to a dinosaur with a mullet and headphones with black kitten ears.
Yeah, we didn't get Dinosaur D. We didn't get Master Jedi. And Nancy. Nancy's been blowing me up in the emails like, hey, you don't tell me when you're on. I'm like, it sends out notifications.
Apparently not.
The answer to this question is Kevin's always full anime.
I'm always full anime,
that's
bro.
That's a secret.
You have no idea. The next car that I get is going to have a massive anime wrap all over it. Just wait. It's going to look incredible. Might do that to my work truck.
So yeah, when I get this Cybertruck, I'm going to do a full Texas flag, just wrap the whole thing in a Texas flag just for funs.
I don't know about you, but they pushed mine back a year.
How do you even know? They told you?
Oh, I wish they told. No, it was just these are multiple news articles and a tweet from, Elon Musk.
So they moved it out. I didn't even hear.
Yeah, they moved it.
That sucks because I need a tax deduction before the end of the year.
God,
so I need a 6,000-pound vehicle.
I put 47,000 miles on my truck in the last 15 months. I'm deciding if I'm going to take this one to the graveyard or go ahead and trade it in right now.
You need a Tesla. Those things.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'm not a Model 3 guy.
We'll get a Model X, Model Y. All right. I'm not going to give you this. I'm sorry. Until I get under contract on a property in there, I'm not giving anybody up my honey hole. So not telling you. Sorry. I know it's a jerk move. I apologize right now. I'm being selfish, being a real Migo. I can't do it. Round Rock versus Leander. I'm going to tell you 100% my answer. It's no brainer, Leander.
I'm going to counter that with, it depends on what your purpose is, right? Your strategy. I have to say that because if your rents are high, but your taxes are high, that might eat into your profit. I don't know. It depends on where in Leander. It depends. Are you talking new build? Are you talking resale? Are you right next to the to 183? You might not want to be right under 183. It just, there's so many variables in there. You can't just overall blanket statement it.
And
I will
do you
say-
like Leander?
Yeah. I would buy in Leander. I'd buy in Round Rock. I'd buy some places. I'd buy in a lot of places.
I personally would not buy in Leander, but I don't think it's a bad place to live. Does
Well,
that make sense?
You wouldn't want to be there for you, but that doesn't mean
for me.
Right.
But the point is, I hesitate sometimes when people are like, should I be here or there? Like, I mean, have you even been to either one of those places ever? Like, you may get there.
Yeah.
Like, we may be like, oh, Leander's awesome. And then you drive up there and you're like, I hate it here.
If you're used to living downtown and then you move to Leander, you are going to be bored, right? Because it's just a different style, different lifestyle altogether. But if it's all about family and kids and schools and you just want to park right, on your street, then that's where Leander shines.
Well, I mean,
a lot of breweries and there's a lot of reasons, but
this map doesn't lie. Right here, 78641, Leander is a much hotter zip code than Round Rock. So,
Orchard,
I found this. I was going to use it as data, but I
now
ended
you're giving them clicks.
Yeah, who cares?
Clicks.
But see, look, even here, right here.
Well, hold on though. This data's skewed too because Leander
every single bit of data is skewed.
It is. But it's skewed. What I mean is, there's just so many new builds. They're able to throw up houses so fast out there, right? Round Rock doesn't have much room to build. It's a different. You can't. If you're using what's closed or what people are buying in, then you just got to be careful with that.
The one thing that we should know since the last at least 5 years that all data can be skewed.
Yes, absolutely.
Make it say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if I can. There's this one. I want to bring up Chrome tab. No. Window. No. Oh, it's not going to do it. It's going to make me do my full screen. I don't want you to see what's on my full screen.
Have you been down here in Oak Hill over here lately to see the progress they're making on the Parkway?
Have they even started?
They're clearing both sides of the road right now. It looks way different. Like where they're putting the HEB
down
in.
Further towards HEB. Yeah.
Yeah, they cleared all those trees out, so they're making some progress now. Can't wait, man. I think that's going to be huge. Hey, you want to know my 2 cents? I think Southwest Austin, after that's done, is going to blow up.
Shh. You can't give people my secret honey hole.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can't give people my secret honey hole, man. I'm just kidding. But invest in Elon's candy company. Is that a thing?
That's candy company. Did you do one of these other releases in the Tesla store?
Yeah. Any thoughts on Southwest Austin with Oak Hill Parkway? Here you go. Yeah, no, I agree. Southwest Austin is where it's at. Dripping Springs, Southwest Austin, White Oak Hill, all that good stuff. Kevin, drive your car to the grave, man.
See, but it's more complicated than that. It's Section 179 IRS code.
Okay. You know what's so funny? I'm going to tell you guys, I have a handful of vehicles. I have a fleet, right? And one of them is an old Toyota Sequoia with 300,000 miles. A water pump went out. And I'm thinking, do we just go buy another car? Or do I get this thing fixed? I love that thing so much. Yeah. And it will last for another 100,000 miles if I just keep oil in it. Easy.
Right. Yeah.
I love that thing.
I know.
If I ran into a wall, I'd back up and then go around it. It wouldn't even matter to me.
I had a Tundra.
I love this thing.
I had a really nice Tundra. Actually, I always regretted getting rid of that truck. I got rid of it 2015, 2016. But I keep saying that, but that truck, if I still had it, maybe it would still run, but it would probably have 500,000 miles.
I love Ehren. I think lifestyle's overrated. Okay, man.
Lifestyle's everything.
Lifestyles of the rich and the famous. Sorry.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So my thoughts on Taylor Morrison from the beginning, I'm just going to tell you, Vizcaya. So there you go. Sorry. Almost.
No reason.
Now, look, if you're going to buy a house there, Vizcaya's not a bad neighborhood. I've had clients that want to be in there. I just have not the friendliest things to say about Taylor Morrison. So
lifestyles of the rich and the
almost bought a house in
famous.
Crystal Falls, but Leander is so ugly. What part of Crystal Falls?
Look, I mean, I understand what she's saying.
And when is that?
Or Lilybell, I'm just assuming.
All right. So where else are we at? So off the top of your head, gentlemen, what's the number one place you would buy right now or encourage a client to invest in?
Northeast Pflugerville.
Northeast
Pflugerville area.
Are we choosing a budget or is that irrelevant?
Oh yeah, start with the budget under in the 400-ish range.
There aren't a lot. Well, and okay, hold on. Are we talking resale or new build?
Just answer the question.
It's never that easy. Oh my gosh. Okay, pick any city. If it's 20 minutes from city center of Austin, invest there. Go. Like what? You can't do that.
Here's an easier question to answer. Oh, so somebody asked about East Village. Oh yeah. Okay, it's down in the comments. We'll get to it. Viviana, Alvarado, worst places to invest. I like this one. This one's good. Viviana, if I could pay you, I would pay you for that question. That's a great one.
Great one. Worst place to invest in. What are the criteria? Worst long-term investment, worst cash flow. I mean, I guess we get to determine what that means to us, right? I'm not going first, by the way.
I'll start it off. I'll make it easy for y'all to jump in. I'm going to go with places that have really, really high property taxes, that home prices have now escalated to a very high amount. I will start with one that I have over and over again talked about. Which one is that one?
We all know. We all know that one.
Treviso.
Yeah.
Treviso is my least favorite, but down in East Austin too, you have Easton Park.
Easton Park, yeah.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
I've had a lot of clients buying there. It's definitely coming around. That until that tax rate drops, which will be a couple more years, I just have a hard time with that property tax rate.
I think you're right. I think they've reached their probably stable pricing for a while in Easton Park. I think you'll see a lot of demand over there and turnover, but I don't think you're going to see high appreciation numbers over the next few years there. I think it went up too fast. For me, the worst, I don't know, man. I hate saying stuff like this because I just don't know the answer. Maybe Apache, what is that? Apache Shores area out in Lakeway, probably.
You mean price to rent?
I mean, it's just generally the neighborhood. I don't think it's a great place to have an investment. It's cool if you were going to live there. I wouldn't invest there though, necessarily. The best place I'd say, I'm telling you, is over by in Northeast Austin, over by Samsung, and Dripping Springs, of course.
Man, it's so tough.
Dripping Springs for sure.
I look at it like if you're going to buy a Dries home or Scottfeld or something like that, and you're buying it as an investment, that to me just seems like the wrong answer. But going to Jeremy's point, I would have said Blackhawk because of the 3.12 tax rate right now. It's like, why? Why are people accepting this right now? But if it's commanding an $800,000 price point, you're not going to rent it at that. But if it's commanding that, I guess I can't really argue with the number today.
I also think downtown condos, honestly, I think if you can get into a downtown condo now, I think is a good deal. If you can get one that doesn't kill you on HOA and taxes. But leasing is getting $4, $5, and $6 a square foot right now downtown. So in some places, some buildings.
Yeah. There's a place in Wells Branch that sold. It was a 2-2 duplex, 1,000 square feet. 1,000 square feet, built in 1985, sold for something. I was like, 2,000 square feet. Somebody will rent it.
What about Parker Station? What do you think about Parker Station?
A year ago,
Parker Station,
incredible.
Is that up north, or is that's one on the east side, right?
It's east. Yeah, I think it's a great,
right in there.
Great growing location. It's low. It's like 2.6 or something. It's not. No. It's less than that. It's Austin. It's 2.23 or something, right?
That's what I thought. Okay.
Isn't that next to Walter Long?
It is.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If they ever finish that project, the Long Lake project, that will explode. It already is exploding because I got somebody in there. I got a few people in there, but one person, they're like on top of the hill. Their backyard is looking at the city. It's looking at the city. And they closed at less than 400. They're like 370 or something like that. Mm-hmm. What?
Right.
15 minutes to downtown, and they're looking at all the skyscrapers and stuff, but not too close, so the traffic isn't ridiculous yet.
I will have a listing coming up in what's that other D.R. Horton neighborhood they're building in?
Sonterra?
No, it's right off of Palmer.
Oh, Kantara Meadows?
No, not
Pioneer Hill?
Pioneer, yeah. Pioneer Hill.
I was like, you give me enough time. Hillcrest, I'll get there.
You pulled up East Village, Jeremy. You were going to talk about it?
Yeah.
I was. People are asking in the comments. The problem is, okay, so my screen, the only way I can pull this information up is if I go straight to my home screen. So I just wanted to go through some of these numbers. So somebody said about 78665 with what is this? Texas National Titles numbers. 78665. Where are you?
That's Round Rock.
Yeah, 35% increase year over year. 35%. 78724. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. No, down the list. Oh, 34%, 78724. So some of the highest returns right there year over year. So not bad. Anyway, what about, oh yeah, you don't know about the candy company?
No, it's news.
News to you, huh? Well, let's go to this. Let's talk about East Village.
But you already did.
No, we perused.
I mean, the plans look gorgeous to me. I think it looks like a really nice, accessible. I mean, obviously, you don't know what people are going to do with those spaces after a while, but I mean,
do you know if they're going to have a Hermes here?
They're going to have a Hermes.
Probably.
They're going to have here. This would be more like a place for like I don't even know. I can't.
The location here is obviously prime. That's what th're banking on. That and then the walkability. You really can't beat that style of neighborhood right this minute.
Yeah, I mean, think about. Do you guys go to the Domain very much?
I go there way too often.
Okay, for social activities or just
yeah. Well, here's why. If ever I say, "Hey, you're south, I'm coming from north. Where you want to meet?" If you say the Domain, there's just so much around it. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
And even that's a hoof, from Liberty Hill.
Oh, it is.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying is even the Domain though. If you live east, that's your option probably for social. That's why I'm saying like this is going to be, I think, a hub for social in the area that's growing the fastest.
I think the Domain is the downtown for adults in North.
I agree with that.
It is.
I would agree with that. I'd like to see a little bit more going on up there. I'm not saying that there's not a lot going on there. I'd like to see a little bit more. Downtown's not exactly dying right now.
No, not at all. And there are lots of pockets, but that's the thing. It's not like, you have to know the pockets. It's still kind of that vibe, right? So you have to know the vibe spots to be able to go and enjoy it. The Domain, you get there, you just walk around, you'll find something to eat. And you might pay too much. Yeah. But at least you can find every type of thing. So many varieties of things. That's all.
Yes, sir.
I get emails about Cascades every single day. From MI Homes. I think there's another
builder
email. I'm not sure. Oh, is that
builder emails?
I'm not sure I know where that is.
See if I can pull it up in my email.
Is this east or west on Onion Creek? Is it east?
I think it's
no,
it is
it's
east.
east of Onion Creek.
I'm
Yeah,
not
so it's
familiar with
not in
that
the
one at
flood
all.
area.
I was gonna say, as long as it's not in the flood area, I really like the accessibility of that one too. If you're okay with south, it's good. As long as you don't have to take 35 to get anywhere between the hours of dawn and dusk, you're good.
The other that's really nice over there is Hills of Estancia. I actually really like
I
Hills
love
of
that.
Estancia. The tax rate's really low. So that's what I love about it. The reason why I'm hesitant on Cascades, I think, was just the property tax. I don't think it's high, but I'm just trying to think of what it was, and they don't have it on their advertisement. Let's see if I can find an MLS. But I like that area. I think that area is still growing. You know, you do have competition over there with Goodnight Trail still going. You have Villas. Is it Villas of Austin? Is that what it's called? Milestones community. They have Milestone Pacesetter community over there. Lennar still has Bradshaw Crossing over there. So you have multiple neighborhoods over there. You also have, I think they're finished building Legends of
The Fall of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah, no. Legend. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's off Legends Way, but I think they call it Legends of Onion Creek. So there's a lot of competition out there, but I think that's where stuff is growing and where you're finding inventory, where prices are in Austin without a crazy. I mean, here's the deal: you can buy under 400 or right around 400 in Sunfield. I would much rather be in Cascades because Sunfield, which is nice, they have the lazy river, is like 3% tax rate. Over here, it's 2.21. I'm trying to verify, so let me look, but you guys talk so I can look at it.
Does anybody live in Lakeway area and actually have a social life that can comment on that? Because I actually don't know. I think I went out to Lakeway once recently when a client of mine was in town, and we couldn't find any place that was open past like 8 o'clock.
If it's not on the water, then yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't count.
But do you remember a few years back, and trust me, it's been like 5 years ago where they announced this, they were supposed to build like a massive development, city center type development out there over on the lake. Do you remember that at all? I thought it was up in that Briarcliff area, but I'm not finding the information now on it, but I want to look back and see. My point of all that was, I mean, that area is pretty densely populated. It could also probably benefit from some happening social, a little bit more like domain type social activities.
You're talking about Lakeway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to drive all the way downtown or go to the domain. There's just no easy way to get out of there.
Well, in Lakeway, no, you can go over to the Galleria.
Yeah, the Galleria is okay.
Have you been to the Galleria for social? I mean,
no,
really. That's like it's a nice mall. Don't get me wrong.
They do a lot of events there. I mean, anything you're going to do in Lakeway though is going to be off 620, or you're going to go to Lakeway Resort or something like that. So it's not
resort, steakhouse.
The way I see it is, if you're looking
and then water.
If you're looking for a replacement activity for going downtown, like if you're like, I want to go downtown, I want to live it up. I want to do this. I want to turn it up a little bit. Are you gonna? There's nowhere in Lakeway that you would actually go.
Yeah, and the
cigar bars.
Yeah, the Uber from Lakeway is gonna be pretty expensive too.
Yeah,
Uber from my place downtown is like $40.
I know. I live in Circle C and it's expensive.
I remember I was working on a commercial lease out in Lakeway and found out that the neighbors were apparently there was some kind of swinger club over there, so they didn't end up going that route. But
in Lakeway, I've heard other places that have that. So to answer the question, this tax rate is 2.2. MI's a decent builder. I have a good friend over there, Stephanie, who is the builder rep over there. Tell her you talk to me if you go by there. She's fantastic. So yeah, I would recommend Cascades for those reasons alone. Yes, Vistas. I would recommend Vistas as well. Milestone's a decent builder over there, 2.2. Yeah, he's right. He was telling me the whole time. I just had to look it up. So, do you invest around rumored developments, Doghead or Velocity, Southeast Austin? No, I don't buy off of rumors, especially rumors about Disney moving here.
I maybe disagree. I would say buy the rumors and sell the news. The old adage. So if you look at the places that are blowing up right now, I mean that in a not that way, but they're not obvious places. So like the very obvious places are not seeing the same levels of appreciation. So I say look at some of these less obvious places. They are speculative. They might not grow, in the short term, but in the long term, I think you'll see some good returns. If you're a speculative investor, I don't think it's a bad idea. Velocity is not speculative.
Well,
What's happening?
I was also going to say, how are you doing this for long term? Are you doing this for quick returns, right? Like that's going to be a factor. It's not like crypto where it's boom, done, boom, switch. It doesn't move that fast.
Mm-hmm. Joe Rogan's place, he bought that One World Theater, right?
Where's that at?
It's off of 360. Yeah, One World Theater's off. It's off Bee Cave. This is the place he bought right here, or that he's going.
Bee Cave makes sense.
Here you go. Boom. So he is going in. So the place he got was this One World Theater right here. It's right here. So it's kind of like Rob Roy Rim, I guess. So it's not really Lakeway. Lakeway's further this way. But yeah, Joe Rogan lives right out. Sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that. Is that doxing if I say out where he lives? Sorry.
Yes. Oh, I found this deal. It's called Thomas Ranch, a 2,200 acre master plan community in Spicewood.
So, right by the Emma Long, I saw that. That's
3,300 homes, apartments, restaurants, hotel, marketplace, shops, about 10 miles of trails along the Pedernals. It will take 2 decades to complete from start to finish. So that's what I was talking about. Maybe they'll have something social.
Ian, what are your thoughts
Ian's
on
gonna open a
Lakeside
club.
Meadows? Aaron loves you, so you better answer this one.
So it's a little bit larger than the domain, but it's right next to the airport. I don't know if that's a positive or a negative. So it's by the lake, but it's right by the executive airport too, which means, if Elon does have to fly, that's a good spot.
Yeah, you're going to see his carbon dioxide come from the planes or whatever that's called.
You can't see
trails.
So, I always wonder about the airport affecting property values. But if you're just talking about for a good time, like Kevin said and Jeremy said, it just depends on what they put in there. I don't know what commercial developments they have going in first.
Welcome back, John.
Yes.
John says, long time, fellas. Our daughter asked why Kevin looks like Hello Kitty tonight and if he could borrow some of those for Halloween, or she could borrow those for Halloween. Hi, John. Welcome back. Long time.
Started as a joke, but now I just think I'm just going to do it.
I think you should keep them the entire time, man. I mean,
they're regular headphones. They just I put the ears on. See? Just put them on there.
Oh.
So you can just get them off Amazon. They plug into any headphones pretty much. Or not plug in, but strap onto you.
There were some other places that I thought I was looking at recently that I thought would be decent places to invest. Where were they? Ian, you said you were looking at some stuff that would be a good place to invest, but everything you were looking up was like 3% tax rate. So I don't get that.
No, that's not. I said we were talking about worst.
That's what you said. You were like, no, you were like best places. Oh, I love this 3% tax rate.
I'm one of those people that's always I try to be on the fence when it comes to best, because best is so subjective.
So I like this. Obviously it's not going to fit everybody's budget. So down in Buda, right here off of 967 and 1626. So this is a straight shot to downtown. Cause look, they put in this 45 extension.
Mm-hmm.
So really you have the same amount drive as those people that are in Shady Hollow, really, because they got to come down the road here, come over and go up. But this area, Carpenter Hill, is really nice too. Cause you can get like 1,900 square feet for $5. So again, it's gotta be your price point, but, tax rate in here isn't too bad. When I click on this, you're not going to see it. It is. Oh no, you are see it.
Can I just be honest? Like,
Yeah.
what point are these builders going to stop building the same GD elevations? That elevation is the same elevation I've seen a million times. Can we get something different, guys? Builders, if you're watching this, can you actually be creative instead of
No, because they are
recycling the
more
same
worried
BS?
about
They're going for
costs.
mass market, man.
They're more worried about costs right now.
Does the mass market even want that?
They're going for mass market a decade ago. So
I still like the other place I still really like is High Point. They still have some good stuff in High Point. I have 3 clients in a contract on this street right here, and I might be the 5th. I love 4th. I love this street right here. I love this neighborhood.
Yeah, but is that as an investment, right? Like, are you buying that to rent it out?
Well, the whole point of today is to either buy or invest. I love High Point.
Yeah, if you're buying to build equity, you know it's going to build that equity. That's a type of investment. That's why I'm asking, what's the point?
If you could even remotely qualify for that $1 million loan, you can lease that house for $6,000 a month.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, but
you can go look at the rates. No, go look at the rates.
All right, you guys keep talking.
A house almost identical to that in High Point just leased for $6,000.
No way.
$5,900. I promise.
I don't believe you.
I've just looked at it.
I don't believe you.
I've got one to share.
Go start sharing.
I've got a neighborhood.
Do I have to share your screen?
Yeah, I got it. I got it, man. I got it. It's up.
By the way, it's not subjective saying that it's fact. Yeah. John loves you, Ian. What are your thoughts on West? Oh no, hold on. We got to get to Ian's first place, and we'll get to you, John. Oh, you got it. All right, here you go.
Yeah, it's shared. Okay, so I'm zooming in. So this happens to be in Cedar Park, right? So if you look at 183, and this was a tip from an avid watcher. It's called Riviera Springs. And the reason why is because a lot of the houses here are half-acre lots, low taxes, no HOAs, huge trees. Look at the proximity. So you've got the mall right here. You can get to the domain in 15 minutes right along here. No tolls. You've got water nearby. A little park over here. And you can get houses in there. I mean, I've seen some for fours to 6s. So it's really, really solid.
There's mobiles in there too, yeah, right? Mobiles.
I don't think they would be over here. I think if it's anywhere, it's going to be over this way.
That's the other thing is we should be telling people this too. Like, a lot of the good places that are going to provide the best returns for you aren't going to be the obvious ones that we're talking about all the time. They're like stuff like this where they're little pockets. They don't have a name.
I had somebody else tell me about Riviera Springs not too long ago. I wonder if it's the same person.
Sometimes you just got to go and drag yourself around.
Just so everyone knows, when I called Kevin a liar, he was right.
Oh, imagine that.
Nice.
Facts and data.
Love that.
I told you, bro. That's $1 million. That's $1 million house or less, maybe $850, and it's leasing for $5,900. So,
no, $6,000 a month.
Oh yeah, $6,000.
$6,000.
And if you can afford it,
it said 59, but at least for $6,000.
That's a good that for Austin. That's a good number relative, right?
Yeah, so, some houses in Circle C are leasing for $5,000 a month. Mm-hmm. Which is crazy to me that somebody would lease $5,000 a month in Circle C, but I mean, I guess I get it. It's a good location, close to downtown. I mean, yeah, people, the median price right now in Circle C is just under 800,000. I came down from 800,000 actually last month. So, what's going on at Lakeline Mall, Ian? Oh, what's going to replace Lakeline Mall when it dies? More houses, probably.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Apartment complexes, most likely.
What should replace it is another live, work, play area, like Northline. Yeah, that's what they should do with it, but I don't know. Depends on who buys it, right? You might put a giant Whataburger there. Who knows?
I mean,
that would be disgusting.
I guess I think about.
I know. I agree.
Not everybody, I guess, really wants these high-end live, work, play places either, right? I mean, there's still massive amounts of demand for.
You know what it goes back to? It goes back to when the mayor of Kyle was on our stream and he was talking about the density Like we need more housing, and we can charge, we being Austin area can charge more. It's better for the city. Cedar Park needs that. The Cedar Park Leander area, they need that. And it's not just apartments. Nobody wants all these apartments, right? Unless it's upper end apartments. That's what it seems.
Did you see that Dallas is actually leading the nation in added apartments in the last year? Added rentals.
Round Rock isn't far behind, I'll tell you that.
No, they're not.
I don't know what Dallas's numbers are at, but I've seen
the number,
so
but it was
many
a lot,
apartments go up.
like 23,000 units or something added. In
Pflugerville too. Pflugerville's added so many apartments. Gosh, I was there this morning and I'm like, what is happening? There's like 4 corners of apartment complexes in multiple places in Pflugerville.
But it goes back to our conversation about that. Like, you know, how many people that live in, I'm not saying we're New York City, but think about like New York City, you either have to have a roommate or you're in a 100 square foot apartment there. So is it unreasonable to think that people living in, it's just like this conversation. Not everybody wants to go to the Domain and shop. Like that's just not in a lot of folks, the majority of folks' income bracket to be able to do that. So the majority of people.
So that I would say that's actually the appeal of the Domain for a lot of reasons. And some of these little one-off areas in like downtown Austin is because the Domain has, I'll call it the more affluent, the more affluent side, like, and then they have the outlet feel side.
Yeah, they got 3 sides. Yeah.
And then they have the like if you want to go get down and dirty side section and just have a good time, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
get slosh faced.
The mall though has 3 sections, right? The mall behind Dick's Sporting Goods is like
right. That's what I call kind of like the discount side. Should I say that?
No. And then the other side where Macy's is, that's one other swath. But then the north side is actually, you know, another section as well. Jeremy, you're there.
Sorry, dealing with.
I didn't know if you were talking or not.
No, sorry, I was dealing with clients. My apologies. What were we talking about? Costco, Sam, and Kyle. Kyle.
Are they building one there?
Yep, building one at Kyle. I've also heard Georgetown is the other rumored. I have all the inside. You want inside info on Costco? I know people who know people.
Oh yeah,
who kill people.
That's true, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
I forgot that.
Best investment property idea. Don't know what that means. Oh, this is a good one. If 400K is hard to find an investment property around Austin area, what price point would you need to invest there? Investing on a budget?
No. You can get 400.
Yeah, that's pretty common.
You can get 400 right now. Pretty readily.
Pflugerville.
You have to be quick. That's the thing. You can't sit and think about these things though, right? But if you're ready and you have your proof of funds ready to go and your realtor's on it, you can make it happen pretty quickly. You can't do the 8-day option period and think you're going to get away with that for $100. Don't pull that. That is not going to work.
Tom Petty wants to know. So real quick to finish up with this, I would say bump your budget to 500 and you'll be able to widen.
It would be easier for sure.
Yeah. Is 300 to 500 single family home the east side a thing? Yeah, for sure.
Well, it says a thing of the past.
No, you can get
no. You can get stuff over there.
Define the east side and what level of the east side.
Not like 78702.
Yeah, 44. I was just looking at some good stuff in not Colorado. Yeah, Colorado Crossing had some good stuff recently that was under 4, so or right around 4. So that's a good one. What about Whisper Valley?
I like Whisper Valley, but
I think again this is one of those. Last year it would have been an easy yes, like no question, hurry up, get it.
I still think it's a good investment for a home buyer, first time home buyer.
Yeah, for some primary.
Yeah, just live in the house.
Well,
like don't
a long-term primary.
Don't get hell bent on it, assuming that your house, like you have to buy a house in an area that's going to go up 10% every year. It's just like no, just live in. You're not selling the house in 2 years. Just buy the house that you like in the neighborhood that you like. That's in your budget. That's the best investment for you as a first time home buyer.
What about apartments? Are they detrimental to the surrounding communities for single family?
I don't know.
Ask Houston. I don't know.
Probably not. It just depends on how close, but I don't think that they are.
Well, it also depends on what type of apartments. It depends on if they're facing the house, like the neighborhood, if they're adjacent to the neighborhood, or if there's a separation of any point. There are all sorts of back and forth variables there.
Bianca wants to know what are your thoughts on the Kyle area. I've long said it's the most underrated area in and around the Austin area. Is it a good idea to buy there? There you go. Costco's moving in, and hopefully other businesses too.
Like is Costco the deciding factor of why you would want to move to a place?
Well, think about this.
Just general statement.
Yeah, no. So think about this. A city isn't a city until they have an HEB, right? So a city isn't on the map until it has a Costco. So, I mean, right? Like nationally, it's not on the scene until there's a Costco. So Georgetown's not even thought of right now because Georgetown doesn't have a Costco. Yet, Georgetown is the number one city people are moving to.
Yeah, but Lago doesn't have an HEB.
It's not
so
even
they're not on the map.
We don't even.
It doesn't count.
Somebody asked about Jonestown too. We don't talk about it.
But Jonestown is just on your way to Lago. I think that was Mark.
Yeah. See, Mark, there's no HEB, so Lago doesn't exist. And Jonestown. I'm just kidding, everybody. I'm just kidding. Please, don't reach out to your senator. Let's see. So yes, Bianca, I recommend Kyle. I recommend doing your due diligence to look at what side of I-35 you want to be on and why. There's a lot of great neighborhoods in Kyle. I'm currently trying to help a client find a house in a specific neighborhood, and it is not easy because when they come up, it's like 6 offers. That's still right now. It's crazy. And that was off market. Tom Petty wants to know, I'd rather live in a nice city flat than be out in the boonies. Personally, low HOA would be my target. I don't see a question there.
I don't
see
disagree.
a question there, but Dripping Springs, you're Dripping Springs, Driftwood. There's another one over there I'm not going to talk about.
No, but he's also saying he'd rather be in a nice city flat, and I don't disagree. Like I think if you can downsize your lifestyle a bit, then downtown is still a great place to buy. We don't talk about it enough. But
04 baby is my favorite zip code.
Yeah.
North of downtown as well. There's some great spots.
I think you'll start seeing some higher density housing in 04 too.
If he's talking like flats, right? There, Jester Estates has condos, 2,000 square foot condos with a $50 a month HOA, which for a condo regime, that's really reasonable. 2.2 tax rate. It's pretty solid. Being, in Austin, not too far from downtown.
Mortgage rates updated daily.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Don't make me click on buttons. Just show me the numbers. Good grief.
With interest rates, this is 14 hours ago. Will rising interest rates burst the housing bubble? It burst the housing. That's such a.
I think some of these are canned responses. Like texts. You just have these canned responses. They're ready in case it goes up 2 points. They're like that.
It's pretty much the same. I don't think it's much different.
Until we're back at 6% interest rates, I wouldn't start whining about anything.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what they went up to. I will say I was quoted for an investment loan at 3.5, and now it's at like 3.75. 3.5, and now 3.75. So it went up a quarter percent. So that's pretty significant jump. That's what I was told. But Sarah's not on here. So I can't answer that question. Bay Area has 15
That's funny. I was reading that.
Burn the Bay Area down. I'm just kidding. All right.
I do most of my grocery shopping at Costco. I just buy like the same 10 things in bulk.
I don't think Costco's the reason to move to Kyle. It should be absolutely a reason, Bianca. But I'm just kidding. But it's an indication that if businesses that big are going to be moving to the area, we would expect. I mean, I think Kyle's behind the actual growth that it's there. We had the mayor on, and they are definitely trying hard to grow. So I agree with you for that reason.
If you do shop at Costco, you have to practice detachment though, because they remove stuff from their shelves all the time. So don't fall in love with it.
Yeah, that's just so you keep walking around.
No, I want the
when you say
keto
dark,
yeah, what are you talking about? Dark skies.
well,
Is that
if he's
a
saying
bar?
dark skies, is he talking about like noise or light pollution?
Yeah,
Right, because
well,
that is a
talking
real
about
thing.
bars.
You go out there if you want to see some stars. That's where you go.
Well, Dripping Springs is an official dark sky community, so any developments out there can't have lights pointing up. So
Love
at
it.
night they point down, which
Yeah.
Got it.
keeps the city dark.
I hope so. I think it's just that there's just so much growth in Austin, and it's probably to plan for all the rail system enhancements, right? So there's just a lot of people coming and going.
Did you hear that deal with the South Terminal? What's going on over there?
Mm-mm.
The airport wants to expand the South Terminal, but apparently the South Terminal was privately owned and under a long-term lease, and they want to like cut that guy out of the deal. And he's like, no, if you annex me into this deal, whatever you develop here, I'm going to be getting money for in the lease, from the main terminal. It makes no sense that you have a South Terminal anyway.
Oh, it's stupid. Oh my gosh. I remember flying out of there one time and I said, I will never do this again. It was like a 2-hour bus trip to get over there from the main terminal. I'm like, what? How did this happen?
No, I did the first time I actually went out there because I dropped off my dog at the Bark and Zoom, which is at the main terminal. And then when I pulled up my phone and realized that I was on time for the main terminal, and at the South Terminal, you have to drive 20 minutes around to get to it. But now I just park there. It's pretty convenient. And since I'm a cheapskate, I only fly Frontier anyway.
We locked at our 2.8 as well.
3.25 sounds right because I was getting quoted right under 3% for regular loans for clients, like 2.89. So 3.25 sounds on par with what I saw rise.
For today, sure.
Yeah. I don't understand this, but Costco's red pilling, it's never yours. It's
the Matrix, man. Matrix reference.
It's funny. I was talking about MI Homes, and Stephanie just messaged me. It's funny. So I was saying, girl Stephanie over there at Cascades. I think she's at Estancia though. All right. Nope. Can't answer. Nope. Get that one off of there. Hello. Goodbye. Can't. Nope. We can't talk about that one. Okay. Sorry. We purchased a home in the new Trento community of Milestone, about 1 mile east of our favorite commute to a community of Treviso. Sorry, I got a little thing in my throat. It is in West Cedar Park along Trails End. Any thoughts on that location potential? I mean, you already bought there, so you're stuck, man.
I think it's a good community. They sold a lot of them too, really fast. I tried to help a client buy one about a year ago. They were way on a waiting list. So.
Yeah, I mean, do you work remote? Because that's great then, right? Because then you don't have to go anywhere and deal with their traffic.
Yeah. Plus, it's really close to all that, shopping.
Treviso. Yeah.
No, it's close to 1431 shopping there at 1431.
It's not close, right? Like you still have a little bit of a drive, especially minutes. At 6 o'clock, not at 6 o'clock p.m.
It's not 15 minutes.
I think the traffic gets pretty dense.
What do you all think about Elgin? I think it's a buy for me.
So
depending on tax rate.
Yeah, depending on tax rate. And I mean, are we talking mobiles or mobile homes? Are we talking single family?
Are you buying for yourself?
Yep.
Are you buying
or an investment? Yeah, I mean, they have some old homes, but they have nice, beautiful master plan communities, gated community. There's a lot of variety there. Downtown's really nice. Downtown Bastrop is really nice and super close. There's a Buc-ee's. So, like HEB and Costco, if there's a Buc-ee's, then you're on the map.
Where else can you get $40 a pound beef jerky?
I mean, it's not in Elgin, but it's close enough. And they have the Thirsty Thursdays. Is it Thirsty Thursdays out there where you can just stroll down the street and everybody has different wines and beer and stuff for you to try? Is that what that is? Yeah.
We're gonna have to bring back Thursday Tuesdays on the Real Amigos channel and Taco Tuesdays as well.
I'll do it one time if you guys want to do it. I'll do it one time.
We should do a live stream from like what's it called? What's the place we go? My favorite place, Cosmic Coffee. Yeah, we should go to Cosmic Coffee, grab some brews, sit outside, hang out with
Remote.
Dinosaur
That place
D and
is
John F.
always packed. I love it though, but it's
Yeah.
always packed. We can't get a corner to ourselves, you know?
That's right. What's the average rate for investment? You're talking to people that don't do loans, but I would say right now you're between 3.5 and 4%. So I know it's a big gap,
with
but
with 25% down.
With 25% down.
Not
I've been
20.
quoted 3.5 now, 3.7 ish 5 because of the rates that just went up, which really sucks because I had multiple properties I'm under contract on, but whatever. Yeah. So Ehren likes to buy, move in, and then move out and put a tenant in. It's a very smart, very
So
smart.
Good job, Aaron.
He's house hacking.
Too bad I can't do that with a 9-year-old and just move house to house to house. That would be a lot of fun. 2 dogs.
You
all that
can.
good stuff. Can't. There's a cost. Look, here's the deal. So there's a cost associated with doing primary, right? So you might get a lower interest rate, but you're gonna have, if you're gonna move in and move out, you have moving costs.
Moving costs are huge.
So there's that. So I mean, at a certain point, just buy investment properties, pay a little more. The tenant typically is going to pay off your mortgage for you anyway. So
I think the variable or the thing to consider there is how much you have to spend cash on hand. And like in Aaron's case, if he's getting a new house, there's nothing to do. And if it's nearby, there's nowhere to move. Right? Like it's an incredible strategy.
Yeah, it's an incredible strategy if you have a truck and you want to pay money to move twice. It's great. I'm not saying it's not a bad strategy.
Well,
I personally can't be moving
lifestyle
every time. Yeah.
He said lifestyle was overrated. So if he's just sitting there with one of those little switch lamps from IKEA, I don't know this. I'm just saying like that. That's all he's got in a bed. And he's like, I'll wait till the next. And
all I'm saying, it's not an idea for somebody with kids. That's all.
And then all he does is go and hang out at the Domain. That's it.
Yeah. See, there you go. He said he's a bachelor. See, if I was a bachelor, man, what he's doing, how many investments can I move into a year?
Yep. Duplexes or quadplexes even.
I'm actually, guys, after the show, I got some duplexes. I'll send you some deets on. I might be under contract tomorrow on one. Good price. And not in Austin. Sorry, my phone's blowing up. All right, Aaron, if you grow a mullet, you can crash at my place for a while. Are you crashing at his place right now, Kevin?
No.
Is Dinosaur D hanging out there? You said you were house sitting for somebody.
Yeah, no, he's not there.
Best place to invest in Southwest Austin. I mean, there's so many neighborhoods in Southwest Austin. I'd find somewhere with a low tax rate. I like, is it Bear Creek, just south of Bear Creek off 1626? If you can get something under 500, it's like 1.8 tax rate. I love that.
Yeah.
The other 1.8.
1.8. That's clean right
we
there.
We have one property that's 1.79 or 1.8 in Summer Row, which is just off 1626. So super sticker. Thank you for showing. I appreciate that.
Wow, that's so kind.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
Mr. Jeremy's wearing the Be Kind shirt.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Work hard, be kind.
That's our brokerage right there.
Yeah, there it is. Shout out. Real Amigos are the kings of YouTube. There you go.
Three kings. Three wise kings.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you a lot. Aaron, let me know when you grow that mullet and we can catch up for a beer.
Listen, let me just be honest with you. Growing a mullet is not something you just do. Okay.
That's a plan.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah,
it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. Trust me. You get lots of attention, baby.
So Legend Oaks is one of those areas that I say there's lots of good areas. So you have Legend Oaks, Western Oaks, both. I mean, the thing is, like with some of these properties, you got to be careful because a lot of them are 1990s homes. So, you will run into issues depending on what's been updated or not. But that area, as an investment standpoint, especially if you go to Mills Elementary School, if there's something that makes sense, get in there. I like that. And then what else? I have one in Cherry Creek right now. I just listed. I think it's a fantastic listing. I've had quite a few investors reach out to me on that one. Cherry Creek's not a bad area. What else is over there? Sendera, Deer Park, Deer Haven, all of those areas, all still good areas too.
Anywhere in Austin, no HOA, Austin city rate taxes. I think it's a good investment.
Where do you guys have investments in?
Your business.
I have two in South Austin, one being built in New Braunfels. I had one I was hoping to get under contract today or yesterday. I'm not going to tell you where. It's Southwest. I'm also looking at two other properties in San Antonio.
I invest only in shoes and hair care products. So
ears.
And yours.
I've got this Round Rock as an investment, and then I've got a few house down payments worth and all sorts of crypto and other assets. It's pretty great. But we're gonna keep going. I'm pulling an Ehren. I'm trying.
Oh man, Ehren. So what's kind of funny is, so I put out this video today, and I noticed somebody wrote a comment on my thing, basically discrediting, oh, you're a realtor. Realtors just have a vested interest in selling real estate. So whatever you say is bullshit, basically is what they said. And I recognize this person because I saw them in the comments on his channel. And that guy will not come on my channel, I guarantee you, because he blocked me on his channel for calling out his BS. So I don't think he'll come on. I'd love to have him come on, but he won't. I know he won't. All he would rather do so here's a crazy thing about that guy. All he cares about is discrediting realtors and saying that we don't know what we're talking about, which, look, some realtors don't know what they're talking about for sure. And then his other goal is he actually sells stuff, right? He sells packets, sells people where to invest. So he's telling, he's saying, oh, realtors just have something to tell you. So, they have a vested interest. He has a vested interest too, because he sells stuff. He makes money off YouTube. He actually you go to his website, there is stuff to buy. So yeah, good job, dude. Yeah. Trying to say that we have the vested interest. Good luck with that. Anyway. I'm selling to Opendoor, I'm sorry, and moving out to Houston and buying cash. Not sure if I should sell my house or rent it out in Pflugerville, Carmel division. So you're going to sell to Opendoor? I don't know. Okay.
Well, it sounds like he hasn't made the decision, and that's why he's asking the question. I think I'm
getting $630K for 2,900 square feet. What do you think? It's a good one for you, Ian.
I think you should continue talking to Opendoor if that's your decision.
That seems like a pretty decent price.
It does seem like a pretty decent price.
So it seems like a decent price, but what are they charging you? That's the thing, is because they do have considerable amount of things they charge you for.
That's the thing. Everybody says, I'm selling it for this. And it's like, okay, but there's so much more to it than that. What are you, like you said, Jeremy?
Yeah, what are the fees?
What are the fees? 20%. Then you could get the same thing from a real, and if you're paying for the convenience, then you're paying for the convenience.
Listen, CarMax and Opendoor are the same thing to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I have a client that just purchased a home in Southeast Austin, and 6 months after, he's like, I don't know if I like living here anymore. I'm going to sell to Zillow. Zillow offered me this or whatever. I'm like, okay, that seems right, but I'm seeing stuff list. I don't know if it's going to a contract for about 25 grand more. Like, well, he's like, yeah, so I think I'm going to do it. I'm like, okay. He's like, but the fees are 10%.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, hold on. Wait, why would you do that then? I don't get it. So anyway.
Right. If you could sell it the same exact time frame or close to the same time period, I'd be really curious. And they have a 30-day option, or however long they have a 30-day option, right? And so he said he signed the contract. He didn't sign. I mean, you basically signed an option period for 30 days. And if they came back and said, no, we're going to drop it because you need repairs, even if it's a new build, you're still going to end up paying for it. We'll see. I would be really curious to see what the close price on that home is. I'm really curious.
You always got to do what's right for you and your family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And if it's quick and it's easy, then I get it.
if the risk associated with listing it on the open market was higher because of the time frame, and you're like, hey, I don't want the risk, I just want this money. Do you, boo boo?
Do you, boo boo?
Yep, you're right, Nelly. You are correct. Look, here's the deal. Okay, so I understand. So I'm not knocking anybody that sells to Opendoor or sells to Zillow or whatever. I understand it, right? Because the fact that, all right, I might have to pay a little bit extra in fees. The offer sounds fair, and I don't have to actually worry about, going through the process. I don't have to worry about people coming in my house. Is this offer going to be good? The challenge you run into is, does it actually sell more on the open market? And so, that's that. I appreciate you asking the question. I would actually have to see the actual property to give you an idea if it's actually worth that. Any realtor that gives you a price over the phone, unless they see the house, I don't think are giving you a fair estimate. But it could be. I mean, it could be a good investment for you, or it could be a good sell for you. What I'm saying is, though, I understand why people would do it. Because if I could sell off market to somebody and make a fair amount, I would do it too. That way I don't have to worry about people coming in the house. Anyway, done.
Just to give you an idea, so Opendoor actually did offer through me to my client for their home that I've listed, and they offered $200,000 less than what the house is worth. 200,000.
Wow, that's crazy. What about Parton Ranch and Highland Homes? I love Highland Homes, and so here's my pros and cons with Parton Ranch. I love the location of Parton Ranch. You don't really hear 1826. I have several clients that live in there now currently. I go over there for parties all the time. I love the idea, and I love Parton Ranch. There's the two things that I don't like about Parton Ranch, and this is just a me thing. One of them is a me thing. The one thing I talk about a lot. The property tax rate's 2.96. They haven't started building the community pool yet. I hope that gets built soon. The thing that I really don't like about the community is the personal preference. All the fences are that see-through metal fencing. So if you're in your backyard and your neighbor's in your backyard, you literally can see your neighbor directly through the fence. That is my only negative, but Lakeway is the same way. Like a lot of Lakeway, those new build homes are all the same way. And so my only negatives, other than that, I love Highland Homes. If I could figure out a way to put those slats in the fence, so I wasn't looking directly at my neighbor, or not spend $100,000 on just trees to block out the neighbor, I think Parton Ranch is. I mean, that right there is also my negative for Reunion Ranch. A lot of people from my neighborhood that I live in now moved to Reunion Ranch, but it's the same thing there. See-through fencing, 2.96 tax rate. I couldn't do that either. So that's just my preference. But I love the neighborhood. I love the people there. I got a lot of great clients that have moved there. I love the people there for sure. Any other thoughts from the gallery?
None.
We see that you love Parton Ranch. We'll just leave you with that one.
We didn't talk about this yet. Evergrande, you missed the E, Dinosaur D. We talked about it briefly earlier. I think the thing that you're going to see is a lot of people moving into the bond markets, buying our bonds, causing interest rates to rise. I don't know how much it's actually going to impact our stock market. They did say it's the contagion is at the border, is what I've heard. I don't know how true that is.
If you look back into what China's been doing for the last, I don't even know how many years. Like they've literally, go look up China ghost cities. They've literally just been developing these massive cities in the middle of nowhere, and then just telling people, oh, if we just go ahead and build it, then people will eventually come there.
Well, but those cities were like modeled after Paris and stuff like, and the Bay Area and stuff like that, right? Those are the cities you're referring to?
No, well, generally speaking, China has been investing in building real estate far ahead of the demand for it, like way ahead of the demand. There's these cities that, are like high-rise towers that are not even completely finished, so I don't know that will it affect the world? Yeah, sure, it'll affect the world market. But if anybody's surprised by the fact that this is happening, I don't know why you would be surprised. They've been building their house of cards for a long time in real estate.
So this is always a good question right here. So thanks for the discussion. I appreciate it. Should I sell or rent it out? I am a strong proponent in renting out your property and moving into another property. My biggest mistake I made, and I've said this early in the show, is that my last property, I didn't keep it, I sold it. So I'm a big proponent in keeping and renting out. You have to look and see if the numbers make sense for you. If you have enough for the down payment of the next house, does it financially make sense? Are you going to rent it out and get a little bit of income from it? Do you not want income from it? All of those things. This year alone, I can tell you. So for all the crap that people talk about realtors, this year alone, I have talked 7 or 8 clients into not listing their home for sale and to renting their homes instead. So, it's 8 sales I could have had that I did not, or 7 or 8 sales that I could have had that I didn't. So I'm a big proponent in renting it out. What do you think?
If you are doing, go ahead.
Go ahead, Kev.
No, you go.
I was going to say it depends on. So you say you don't need the money for the down payment, but like Kevin had said earlier, do you need the money for anything? Right? Like if you just want to build a portfolio and you have a property that's that has high demand, rents are going to increase, and it depends on how close you are to paying that down. Why would you get rid of it? Right? It's a solid investment for 5, 10, 20 years. That's a long time where you're accumulating wealth and paying down the equity on this home that you already got a loan for like 200 something thousand for. Assuming you got a loan. I don't know if you paid cash. There is so much potential there. That is it's a cash cow is what that is.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't need the answer is always if you don't need the money, right? Don't take the cash and pay a lot extra down to pay off your current house. That's dumb. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it's dumb. If you've already put your down payment down on your new house, that is the down payment that you want, that has a monthly payment that you can easily afford, right? That's the key there. And if you have a down payment for a house and you feel like you need to go over 20% to buy that new house, you probably shouldn't be buying that house if you can't afford the monthly payment unless you go over 20%. That's my personal opinion. But if you're planning to own a lot of rental properties over time, it would make sense for you to do this. If you're only going to rent one, even if you're only going to have one, I still think it makes sense to keep the property as long as that cash isn't keeping you from doing something else.
There's one thing we didn't talk about, and it's him relocating. If you are self-managing, then that is a problem. And that's why Ehren had put up there the property management company, right? Because you do not want to have to run back and forth or deal with those calls or call out contractors when things go wrong.
That for me is not enough of a reason to sell the property though, because it's worth the effort to keep that and then just have the asset. But again, can you keep this asset, go buy another house somewhere and not need that cash? That's the question, right? Or are you going to have to refinance this house to pull out a bit of that cash to go buy your new primary residence? And then the remaining loan, can you cover most or all of that payment with the rent that you're going to be getting off of this property? Yeah,
that's another great point, Kevin, is the refi. If you do not have to refi and you can buy your next house, keep that interest rate.
Yeah.
That's what you want, right? You don't want to refi and go up to 3.25 or whatever.
And remember, most of the time we don't talk about this, and trust me, your lender and title company glaze over this point. Go look at the amortization curve on a mortgage. It's not straight line amortization, meaning when you start day one, your first monthly payment is heavily weighted on interest versus principal. And then over time, it gradually decreases. So your last payment is massively principal and very little interest. The reason they do this is because they know very few people are going to hold their house that long, and they make a lot more money on the interest. I don't even know how it's legal, to be honest with you. I think I don't think it's the right thing to do, but it's just the way life is. So if you're refinancing houses all the time or getting into a new note, it's costing you way more money in interest volume, which is the amount of money that you're paying in interest over time.
I love that you just said an amortization schedule like that is illegal. That's all I heard. Well,
I don't understand how it's legal, to be honest with you. I bet it
because
is.
you're signing it saying, hey, I'm giving you a lot of money up front. You're going to pay me a lot of money up front back until I'm getting close to being paid off.
But a car note doesn't do that. A car note's straight line amortization. It's not weighted amortization.
But it's also a depreciating asset, right?
Yes, but I mean, technically your house also depreciates with maintenance. I mean, I guess my point of that is I think it sucks. I think it sucks that it's set up that way.
It sucks when you're on the receiving end of it.
Because they know people don't keep their house for more than like 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
so
yeah. It was a business decision.
That's why lenders wouldn't be so hungry for your business if it wasn't that way.
Oh, speaking of, I just had a client, unbeknownst to the mortgage lender, who had been in a house for something like 4 months, paid it off, mysteriously came up with $500,000. Like, it wasn't anywhere on any paperwork. Mysteriously came up with $500,000 and paid it off. And then the lender got hit with a $20,000 bill for early payoff, the lender's office. And I was like, what?
Wow.
That is horrible. That's tragic. I mean, good for the client, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But there was a gap in communication somewhere. So lenders, if you're listening, make sure you tell people or find out if people are going to pay their notes off early.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my beach rental property, I told my lender friend, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna pay it off this month. He's like, you've only owned it for 4 months. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to pay back all the commission if you do that. Yep. And like all worried, I was like, okay, I can wait 2 more months. I'll pay it off in 2 more months. Like, thanks for letting me know. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, lenders should probably tell people like, hey, if you're gonna pay this off, just so I don't have to pay back my commission, make sure you wait.
I don't think it was just his commission, right? Like the lender's commission. It's also whatever the brokerage gets hit for, because due to who they sell it to and whatever they're making. Right.
So I want to go back real quick to the China thing. Dinosaur D actually wrote this. I love this. I think it might make things more expensive if stuff goes kaput in China and businesses close. We might need to rely on goods made in other places. It'd be nice if goods were made in America, right?
I mean, I'd rather pay more money and have less stuff.
So isn't Tesla the most American-made car, Kevin?
No. Probably not. Toyota.
No, it is.
Is it?
It is.
By volume?
I would never tune in CNN. The only reason I turn to CNN,
Jeremy loves CNN.
Make sure they're reporting things correctly.
That's what he told me. I'm not trying to start anything, but he said he loves CNN.
I don't watch the other ones too. Everybody's like, oh, he watches the other ones, so he must.
Jeremy watches ONN.
Crazy people. I don't even know what that is, but okay.
ONN?
OANN?
ONN.
Oh, I don't know.
That's like the super mega super conservative.
Yeah, I don't watch that one.
Like the guys that love Fox News.
This is an interesting question, right?
Yes, the answer is yes, and it's 25%, not 20.
Yeah. If I just sold and want to invest in Austin area, should I buy multiple properties with 20% down to rent, or spend more than 20% and down payment on one of one home?
Did you just say yes, Kevin?
What's that? Yes.
You just said yes to just yes.
Yes. No, you should buy multiple properties, obviously.
Yeah, multiple properties.
At 25% down, though, not 20. I just don't think it's smart to put more than 20. I mean, more than the minimum you have to, as long as the note's being sufficiently covered.
Well, it's 25% plus possibly, right, whatever the closing costs are, and then any repairs. And so if there are any repairs to get it up and running. So it often ends up being more than the 25% down.
Yeah, investments are 25% such. That changed in like March.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, you guys keep talking. I'm sending an offer over.
So spend more than 20% down on the what? And the other thing is, I mean, I'm curious where you're living, Cindy. If you already bought another place, that's great. But wherever you're living, that's going to give you the best interest rate and the best tax, homestead tax exemptions. So obviously, I mean, unless you're in an apartment, some people do that.
Jeremy, you watch the YouTuber that always talking about the housing market crash part 500. I guess a broken clock is right twice a day too. I've tried to watch and listen to what this person is using for justification for why the market's crashing and different, not just Austin, but different areas. And he uses always such a dodgy information. The information. So I watched this one he did about Austin recently, and I've talked about this. I alluded to a little bit in my last video, but he said that, okay, so number one, that realtors are lying to you because they're telling you that people are moving to Austin is the number one reason why the prices have increased so much. I don't know any realtor that's saying, oh yeah, this is the exact only reason, right? They're talking about a lot of other reasons, inventory problems, all this other stuff, rates. And then he said the other, and given that, he said, he gave a chart like, oh, look at this. Over the time, it's been the same consistent growth. But he didn't tell you that the 2020 data that he used ended in July of 2020, right? So if we're looking at 2021, and I asked Kevin this, I was like, Kevin, did you get busier after July or before July? And Kevin's like, well, I was really busy before July. And all of a sudden July hit. And I was like, this is crazy towns. All the way through July of this year has been crazy towns. So we don't actually have 2021 data yet to show how many people have moved here. And so if every realtor is going, look, every client that's calling me is from California or from out of state. Yeah, of course, we're going to say, yeah, most of the people moving here are from out of state. But that's not what we're saying, that everyone, like, that's not the only reason. And then, so I kind of broke down why there was like 5 different reasons prices have increased it the way they have. And part of it has to do with, we still have businesses, and Ian has said this over and over on the channel. We still have businesses that aren't even like, they've announced they're coming, but don't have like maybe a quarter of their actual employees here. So it's plus that with interest rates are rising, that with inventory is really low still, 0.9 month, 1 month. That's still very low compared to 2020, compared to 2019, still very low. And then on top of that, you still have businesses moving here. And but it totally takes away. So if you look at 2020, and I'll bring up the stat, actually, I have it right here. I have it right here for all of you to see.
Oh, how convenient.
Yeah. Because I'm good like that. So, okay. So let's see, 2020 growth right here. Great. So 2020, 67,000 people.
It's covered by the comment.
Is it? Oh, hold on. Boom. 67,000 people moved here in 2020. It's 3% year-over-year growth. So he's saying, look, it's constantly around this 2.6 to 3% growth, but you're discounting the fact that that's still 67,000 people that moved here, 61,000 the year before, and we're estimating right now.
But the part that was missed, go back up. The part that was missed is that 2011, 2012, close to 2014, 2015, 2016 are all that same percentage.
Yeah, 3%, but they're also 14,000 people less, right? And then let's look at this information right here. This is a good slide too. So this is David Tandy's work. I've told you, if you want me to bring David Tandy on, we got to convince him. So tell me to bring David Tandy on, drop that in the comments. David Tandy's the CEO of Texas National Title. There's a lot of economic work, but we're estimating right now for 2021, estimations is over 70,000 people moved here. It's like 73,000 people. So if you think about, okay, 2021 and then 2020, that's 140,000 people in a 2-year time frame. That's a shit ton of people. Now, I'm not saying that's the number one reason people are moved or number one reason prices are going up, but it is a large piece of it.
I wonder how much of this, especially in the last, I'm going to say couple of years, are factoring undocumented.
Oh.
That's
Good
well,
question.
yeah, and that's the thing is I don't know being undocumented, depending on if you're DACA or not. I don't think you can as a DACA still. You can, but it's a lot more hoops. You can't buy a home, so you're gonna have to have somebody that's documented to actually buy that home, and a lot of people are gonna probably live in it.
Yeah.
What sucks is that like we could sit here and I could just sit here and say that the market's not going to crash. Like I just completely just constantly say, oh, the market's not going to crash. It's not going to crash. But then if it does, somebody will come back to me and be like, you dumbass. I told you. Right. But these guys that I've had people in my circle for 3 years,
5
saying,
years.
This is the year that the market crashes, and here's why. And then when it finally does, they're going to be like, I told you so.
You know what he is? He's the weatherman.
Oh, I know, right?
He's the weatherman. Like, it doesn't matter if he's wrong, right? He still has a job.
Right.
Well, it drives me crazy that people on his channel are now mad at me because we released a clip kind of talking about this. And so as people are mad at me, they come over and write, you can't trust realtors because they have an incentive. Well, dude, you have an incentive. That guy has an incentive too. He sells crap to people too. Yeah, like he's telling people where to invest. He's selling stuff. So like, get over it. Like,
I love Mark's question. The one that just came on. This is a really good question.
How much of the stats include people who can't yet move here because construction delays? And that's another thing. So this is what pisses me off. You want to discount realtors, but we are in the market every single day. We are seeing the issues and the problems on the ground. Right. All right. If you don't like realtors, fine. I don't care. Don't like us. You don't have to like us. I get it.
I don't like us sometimes.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of times.
I don't like realtors that wear pink bunny ears on live stream sometimes, but they're my brother. So I love them. But here's the deal. We're on the ground seeing it every day. Now, there are realtors that are going to go out and lie to you. Yeah, sure. For sure. But if I'm wrong and the market does crash, at least I've stated all the reasons why I think it wasn't going to crash.
Yeah. I mean, but it's the reason not that nobody does it. Oh, I'm not trying to speak English here. It's not that nobody does it, but the three of us are very interested in what's actually happening. Like, we're invested in the real estate market, right? We care about that kind of stuff. So the real estate is mostly lagging indicators. There are very few predictive indicators from a data standpoint for what a real estate market is going to do. Go back to 2008. Like, there weren't really great. There was sentiment, but there wasn't like a good indicator that said, hey, this is going to drop off the face of the earth. So
Warp Data asked a question at 8:44 p.m. I'd like to pull that up on the screen and take a short stab at it.
This one?
Yeah. Want to read it?
Go ahead.
From what we saw at inspection post-framing, we Americans aren't taking much pride in our work. My question is, who are the people doing the work? And it's a rhetorical question, but the answer is we don't always know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And these builders are like rushing, trying to get things done because everything's been so backlogged. And when they finally get all this stuff in, like, we got to go. We've got 130 houses to close this week. This week. Is that pride or is that like necessity because you have to get it done because your boss is saying, get this done?
Well, and builder is actually probably not even the right word for these folks. Like, they're organizing builds.
Right. Oh no, they're conglomerate GCs is what they are.
Yeah, they're conglomerate GCs that are subcontracting like literally every what's the one Vintage Estates or something like that. Do you know what I'm talking about? It used to be a Lennar, not
Village Builders.
No, Vintage Estates is the one I'm thinking of. They don't even sub at their level. They literally hire like another major building company that then subs everything out right under them. So they literally don't do anything except marketing and sales. That's all they're doing. So Ian's right. Like, you don't know who's doing this work, and they're just honestly subcontracting. Guess what? You don't have to have a license to be a contractor in Texas, by the way.
$50
Guess what?
to the city hall. That's it to be a builder.
I'm a contractor.
Well, even to be a builder, you don't need it's $50 to permit for being a builder, and it's no license at all to be a general contractor.
Watch me. The next storm, I'll just run down the street here and I'll sell 100 roofs. Like just because I can.
yeah.
Right?
And then just pass it off 10% finder's fee.
Yeah, and then I'll go to a roofer that does this every single day and be like, I have 100 committed buyers for your roof. Now go do them and give me 10% of everything that you make. That is pretty much the builder shtick across the country.
And Warp Data's follow-up supply is that does not make it okay. And I'm not saying it makes it okay. I'm saying that this is the America today.
Yeah.
Based on what's been transpiring. This is the opportunity and people are running after it. It's not like you are guaranteed a job for 30 years and you can have all of your materials and your family will be taken care of. No, it's like you got to get stuff done now for some of these people.
I'm not politicizing this. I'm just making it a statement of observation based on like the restaurant industry and the service industry. They had the same issue in the last 12 months. Whenever stimulus checks and unemployment were ramped up, there was very little incentive for good workers to actually go out and work because you're getting paid the same amount of money to sit at home and collect unemployment that you were to go work one of these laboring jobs. So why would you? So then you get this labor shortage. You get people that are inexperienced. It's like their first year doing it. So that's what you're getting. I don't know if they don't. I mean, maybe they don't take pride in their work. Partly they don't know what they're doing. They're just not experienced.
I went to 3 places yesterday throughout the day, and everybody was a new hire.
Yeah.
One of them was Enterprise Rent-A-Car. And I was like, it was a training scenario. And I'm sitting there for 45 minutes just trying to rent a car for a day. I was like, what is happening? And then I realized, 2021 happened. I forgot.
I mean, are they doing this 4th stimulus check again or what? Or is there another one? 5th one?
I don't know, man.
5th one? I don't know.
There's
sorry, I didn't mean to make this a geopolitical.
No, and then it's not necessarily a labor housing shortage. I mean, that is part of it, absolutely, but it's also material price gouging, and it's also labor housing shortage, material price gouging, and then you have I'm just gonna leave it at that.
It's just, I mean, look, I talked about this last week. I have a client who the windows got delivered and then they got stolen.
Yes.
I asked the, I was talking to I had a walk on Monday with a different builder and I told them that, and they go, oh yeah. So here's what happens. These people pull up and they steal all the windows, and then they go to Facebook Marketplace. There's a black page on Facebook Marketplace and they sell all the windows on there, or they sell all the stuff they steal from these job sites. So I guess that's a thing. And then you run into stuff like this. Dinosaur City is talking about, there's a TikTok thing where kids go into new built homes and plug all the toilets and everything and let the water run, kind of like the sticky bandits from Home Alone. Well, I have a friend who just posted this today. It literally happened. And in the comments, see if it'll show me the comments.
That sucks.
In the comments, somebody said that was my client. They were supposed to close. Yeah. So in the comments here, they were, here it is right here.
Gerald. Yep.
It was on Santera and Gerald, happened on Friday night, was supposed to close on Monday. Can you imagine being that buyer? Like, not only have you run into delay after delay after delay. I mean, here, I'll show you the picture. This is heartbreaking to me. This is what some kids did off of a TikTok viral video. This is absolutely deplorable. Mm-hmm. So now these people, I mean, the builders got to pay for this. I mean, look, why the builder left the house unlocked, I don't know. Or if they broke in and did it, that's another felony, I guess, or however that works. I'm not sure, but that still sucks.
Did they?
Sucks.
Well, there's no way to find out who they were, right?
I mean, if I'm a builder, why are you not paying for around the clock security at this point?
A lot of builders now have full security suites, full security cameras, those little mobile units like the police do. I've seen a lot of those at the new builds lately for that reason, because you got to realize they don't put some of these new builds, they put dummy doors. They don't put real. You're not gonna put a $1,200 door on a house that's not finished.
Well, the same builder on Monday told me that he goes, yeah. So the house right over there, pointed at it. The buyer's supposed to close. I think it was Monday. He's like, the buyer's supposed to close today. They came in on Saturday to look at the house and left it unlocked, and or broke in somehow and got into it, opened the door and unlocked it, and somebody came and stole all the appliances, fixtures. So that happens. All right, guys. It's and ladies. Sorry, Ian. It's been 2 hours.
I'm not wearing the Mickey Mouse.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Hey, felines.
Parting words before we jam. What do you got?
I mean,
go ahead, Kevin.
My biggest parting words. This comes to my mind every time we talk about this subject, and people are like, "Is this a good time to buy? Should I buy it?" But your time frame for buying real estate should be very long. So 20 years from now, it shouldn't matter to you if you bought the home in September of 2021 or March of 2022. It just shouldn't. So stop thinking about these as like a stock purchase that you're trying to time the market. Think about it as an all-encompassing investment into your portfolio that's got a very long horizon.
I agree.
I would say I love all of these questions. I really do. I appreciate that everybody comes back and asks these questions, because and hopefully you can tell this, but we really care about what we do. And I love absorbing information, learning, and being able to share the new knowledge with people and evaluating it ourselves and having these discussions. So I just want to say thank you this week.
Yeah.
I like that. A good thank you. And I want you to write in the comments when you're watching this, David Tandy. That way we can get him on. All right. We'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah.
See ya.